Hello students, welcome to the part 2 of the chapter that is the sense organ. In the last lecture we have completed up to light adaptation. Okay, so today we are going to discuss from the common defects of the eye. See, there are many defects related to the eye. See, normal eye, what is the defects of the eye? See, in normal eye means what? Without the spectacles, okay, without the glasses. And whenever there is a defect in your eye, we always wear the glasses. Okay, so why there is a reason? Okay, what are the defects we can see in the eyes part? There is called this nearsightedness, far astigmatism, presbyopia, cataract, night blindness, color blindness, corneal opacities, and squint. So let's understand by looking at the diagram first. See the above one. See, the image is always formed on the retina. What is retina? This layer, the innermost layer. The image is always formed on the retina, here, this layer. In case of the myopia, okay, which is also called as the near or the short sightedness, what is this defect? See, in this condition, a person can see up the near objects very clearly, while there is a problem in visualizing the distant object. These problems are often seen in the teenage, okay, or in the young ones. What is the problem? Near objects can be easily seen, while the far objects can't be seen perfectly. Okay, so this is called the myopia, that is the short sightedness, where you can see the short objects near objects and not the far one perfectly. Now, what are the reason behind that for causing of this part? See, the eyeball is lengthened from front to back, okay, or the lens become too curvaceous. As the lens become too curvaceous, like this, see, too curvaceous, like this, so there is a defect, okay, there is a defect in your eye. So how to correct up this myopia? See, always remember that, see, this is the entry of the light, and this is the formation of the object out here at this position. Actually the object should be formed here near the retina, which I am darking right now, this region, but where this object is getting formed? Out here. So the image is forming before the retina. As this image is forming before the retina, the person is not able to see up that far objects clearly. So how to correct up these defects? So doctor often recommend to use the power glasses which are minus in number, okay, and use a concave lens. And this concave lens means what? The number is in minus. See, why they you try to tell you to use a concave lens? Because it helps in diverging the images. See, let's understand with the help of this diagram. See, this is a concave lens, this is the light which is entering out here. So you could see this part. See, there is a divergence. See, there is a divergence, okay, when it is reaching out here, there is a divergence. Due to this divergence, now the image will form on the retina, okay. See this part here, okay, here. As the image now got diverged, okay, now it can form exactly the image on the retina here. This is the spot, okay. The doctor often used to recommend to use a concave lens in case of the myopia. Now hyperopia or long sightedness, exactly reverse. But this long sightedness gets occur in the old people, where they can see the near objects clearly, but is difficult for them to see the far objects. So that is why this problem is called as the long sightedness, as they can see the near, see, in which there is a difficulty in seeing the near objects, okay. difficult. Okay, see now what is going to happen. See the image is formed behind the retina. See here, where the image is getting formed, here the image is forming behind the retina. The doctor at that particular period of a time would tell you to use a convex lens. This, why convex lens? Because convex helps to converge. Okay, convex helps to converge. Now what is going to happen? See this lenses converge means what? Coming nearby. See now the image will come nearby, and now you can easily visualize the object out here on the retina. This long sightedness is often occur in the old people. Okay, in the people who are old in age, around 40 years of age, they always prefer to use our convex lens. Now normal, this is a normal eye, and this is a problem. Okay, this is a defect in which some part of the object is seen clearly, while some part of the object is seen blurrily. So this is due to the uneven curvature of the cornea, means there is a defect in the cornea. See, this is the normal. See, the light is evenly out here in this diagram, evenly. Okay, see, but in this, if you see, this is a light which is getting spread out. See, this is a light which is getting spread out. This is a light which is getting spread out. The light is getting spread out. Why? Because this problem is called the astigmatism. Word means without. Word means without, and stigmatism means what? Spot. Without spot. In this, the eye could not focus on the image perfectly, so that is why it is called without the spot, and so the object form is blur. Now the next problem is the presbyopia. Presbyopia and farsightedness is one and the same only. Okay, farsightedness and presbyopia is one and the same only, but in fact, see, farsightedness can be occurring in any of the people, but presbyopia specially occurs in the old people. Okay, this is the reason it specially occurs in the old people whose age is around 50. Okay, above 50 years of age. Presbyopia. See here, in the case of the normal person, see the image is formed on the retina, but in the case of the presbyopia, the image is formed behind the retina here. So what we are going to use? We are going to use convex lens. Why convex? Because it helps to converge the image. Okay, it helps to converge the image. And word pres means old, and opia means eye, related to eye. Visionary problems in the old age people. Presbyopia. Now the cataract problem. You have often seen these cataract problems in the old age people. See, cataract. This is a normal eye, and this is a cataract problem. In cataract, what happens? Your lens, okay, your eye lens, natural eye lens turns opaque. Opaque means what? There is no vision. Okay, a person becomes blind. So how that blindness, okay, how that part can be removed? See, what is this whitish color? These are the proteins. These are the proteins which get collected on the lens, and as they are collected on the lens, it becomes very difficult for people to view of the object. So what is going to happen? We are going to undergo the surgical, okay, surgical operations. We can remove the lens by using the proper spectacles, especially the convex lens, and now it can be get clear. See, here the light could easily get past, but here due to this granules collection, the light could not get past. See, here there is an entry of a light, but the light is not getting passed out. Now the corneal opacity. See, the corneal part, as I already said, what is the cornea? Which helps to cover the colored surface of the eye. Here This is a normal eye. This is the normal eye, and this is the cornea part, which is completely got whitish. Okay, corneal opacity means what? Opacity means what? The cornea got blocked up. Okay, and due to which you are not able to see. So they can undergo surgical operation, and the eye, the cornea cetal, can get recovered. Squint condition is a condition in which the eye positions are not fixed. Okay, they could be near. Okay, they could be too near, or they could be too far, here or here. Examples: this is called a squint condition. This squint condition is also called as the cross eye or the wide eye, because in which the eye position of that person is not fixed. So that is why it is called cross eye or wide eye. Why? Because it can be away from that eye pattern, something like that. They can undergo surgery or can do the exercise, suitable exercise, which is recommended by the doctor. Now the stereoscopic vision. This is also called as the binocular vision. Binocular vision. See, bino means two. Now a general knowledge questions. We know that all apes, monkeys and humans both have two eyes. Why we have two eyes? There is a reason behind having this two eye. The reason is, see, one eye help to know the location, okay, whether the object is on right side or left side. The other eye helps to know the distance, okay, how far or how near the object is. See, this is the right side and this is the left side. Okay, one eye help you to know the location, the other eye help you to know the distance, whether the object is too far, too near. So this is called as the binocular vision or the stereoscopic vision. Okay, this is very important. Suppose a person with one eye does not judge the things that quickly with a person with a two eye. Okay, see, a person with a single eye cannot judge the speed, the distance or the location that accurately than a person who is having the two eye. This is called the stereoscopic vision, because in stereoscopic vision we could easily see of the object in the 3D way, and as we can see the objects in a 3D way, we could easily locate and we can easily find the distance. And in single eye you could either locate perfectly or you could find the distance perfectly. Okay, after image, the basis of the motion pictures. See, in movie theaters you have often seen that part. See, whenever any objects you are seeing, okay, in a bright light, and if you keep your eyes closed for around 10 to 15 seconds or 2 seconds, okay, in that 5 to 2 seconds the object you were seeing in the bright light appears in your eye, although that object is not there at that particular period of a time. What that effect is called? That effect is called the after image. This is called the basis of the motion pictures. See, whenever we see any of the objects, okay, in a dark light, and suddenly we move into a dark area. Okay, see, whenever we see any of the object in the lighted area and we move into a dark area and you close your eye, you could easily visualize the picture of that image easily. The reason is very simple. This is called the after image. It lasts for around 1/10 of the second. Now we are going to start with the ears part. Okay, we have completed the eye part and now we are going to start with the ears part. Basically, the ears have been divided into three parts. That is the middle and the inner ear. Outer, middle and the inner ear. This is the proper structure of the ear. As of now it looks very complicated, but then too, just a glimpse. This is the outer ear, this is the middle ear, and the rest of the part is the inner ear. Okay, if you want, I would distinguish with the help of the shape. This is the outer ear, this is the middle ear, and this is the inner ear. Let's discuss first the outer ear. The outer ear, okay, the outer ear is consist of the ear flap, that is called the pinna. Okay, the outer ear which gets project out is called the pinna. And the passage, the auditory passage. Why this is called the auditory passage? Because it helps to keep the movement of the hearing. Okay, it helps to take up the movement of the hearing. So that is why it is called the ear canal. What is a ear canal? Through which the hearing sensations can pass through that passage. And the third one is called the eardrum. What is the function of this eardrum? This eardrum is also called as biologically tympanum. Tympanum. Okay. What is the function of this eardrum? This eardrums with the help. See, what is the function of a normal drum? See, whenever we hit on the membrane of any of the tablas or dhols, it produces up the large sound. So same like that, whenever a sound gets strike on the eardrum, it starts to vibrate and produce up these sounds too large. So eardrum consists of pinna, auditory canal, and the eardrum. Now we shall discuss regarding these three parts. Middle ear. See, the middle ear is consist of the three small bones. See, this is the hammer, this is the hammer, then anvil, and this is the stirrup. Okay, hammer, anvil, stirrup. Now hammer, anvil and stirrup are the normal common terms. It has a biological word. It is called malis. This is called incus, and this is called stips. You can remember like this: miss, malis, incus, stips. Okay, they consist of these three together. These three bones, that is malis, incus, stips, are called the ear ossicles. Why they are called as the ear ossicles? They are called as the ear ossicles because they are the three small bones, and together with the help of hammer, anvil and stirrup, they helps to produce up this sound. Okay, now see, this is the eardrum. This is the eardrum. Okay, with the help of this eardrum, this is hammer which helps to amplify the sound. Okay, this hammer will help you to amplify the sound. The second one is the incus. Okay, the second one is the incus or the anvil, this, and this will lead to the third part, that is the stirrup. So in this stirrup, if you notice that part very well, there are the two opening. Okay, there are the two opening. The flat part, okay, the flat part of the stirrups are called the oval window. Okay, and the third one, and this is called the round window. This is called the oval window because this is oval in shape, and this is oval in shape, and this second opening, this is called the round. Okay, this is round in shape, so that is why it is called through the round window. Both this oval window and round window leads to the inner ear. Okay, as we are in the middle ear, both this leads to the new part, that is the inner ear. What does inner ear consist of? Inner ear consists of, see, the inner ear or the membranous labyrinth. Okay, this is one of the important name, membranous labyrinth. This consists of two main parts. One is the cochlea, and the next one is the cochlea and the semicircular canals. So first we shall study regarding the cochlea, which is the inner ear. Now, why they have given the name as cochlea? Cochlea means the spiral shape. Okay, as we have the spiral binding, it's a spiral shape. It looks like a shape of a snail. Okay, which is almost around 2.5 tons. See, this full ton, this second full ton, but this one is the smallest, so 2.5 ton. This has been lead to 3 openings: first, second, third. Okay, and in each of these canals, vestibular canal, the first one, the second one is the median because it is in the middle, and the third one is called the tympanal canal. Okay, in this vestibular canal and tympanal canal, there is a fluid which is present, and the name is very important. This is called the perilymph. The fluid which is present in the first and the third one is called the perilymph. Perilymph. Whereas the word peri means periphery, means toward the outer end. Okay, not toward the center, means the outer end. And there is one more fluid which is present in this median canal, which has the special name, which is called the endolymph. Why this is called endo? Endo means inside lymph. Peri means towards the end part, and endo means toward the center part. Okay, and middle ear. Okay, in middle ear, in the median canal, this part, there is one important part we are going to see. See, all these names are not important. The names which are important, I will tell you that part only. See, this we know that part very well. Okay, whenever we are young one, at that particular period of a time, we could easily hear. Okay, we could easily sense of the thing. But as we grew in age, okay, as we move towards our old age, so at that particular period of a time, it becomes very difficult for a person to hear that sound. The reason behind that is this organ of Corti. What is this organ of Corti? This organ of Corti are nothing but they are the hair sensory cells. They are the hair sensory cells which are present in the median canal, which helps us in hearing up any of the things. Okay, which helps to hear up any of the things. They include the sensory hair cells. But in the old age, the number of the sensory hair cells keeps on decreasing. As the number of the sensory hair cells keeps on decreasing, it becomes very difficult for the person to hear. So that is why often in the old age, you have seen the people carrying the hearing aid. What is the function of that hearing aid? The function of that hearing aid is nothing but it helps to collect up the sound and directly transmit up that auditory message into your brain without passing into this organ of Corti. Because as the number of hair cells are less, so as the number of cells are less, it becomes very difficult for a person to reach through the sound. All these cells lie on this basilar membrane. Basilar means what? This is the base on which there are the hairs, like this structure. Now the second one. See, we have discussed each and everything, but we are left to discuss this semicircular canal. What is this semicircular canal? See, we have discussed regarding the cochlea. This utriculus and sacles will come under this semicircular canal. See, what do you mean by a shape called the semicircular? Semicircular means what? Half circle. Okay? Semicircular means what? It is the shape of the half circle. They are adjacent to each other in a right angle part. See, like this. Okay, there are the three semicircular canals which are present, okay, in the inner ear. And this, with the help of these three semicircular canals, it helps to maintain up the balance of the body. Okay, it helps to maintain up the balance of the body. There are two different types of the balance. One is the static balance and one is the dynamic balance. Okay, one is the static balance and the one is called as the dynamic balance. What do you mean by static balance? Static balance is a balance in which our body balances according to the gravity. Suppose you are walking on a road, suppose you are sitting at your home. So what this balance are called? They are called as the static balance, because our body is at the rest position. Our body is maintaining up the balance with the help of the land. Okay, and there is one more balance, that is called the dynamic balance. What is this dynamic balance? Dynamic balance is a kind of a balance which is there in the motion. Okay, when our body is in motion. See, in static our body should be at rest, but in dynamic our body is in the motion. Suppose you take an example. If you spin round and round continuously, okay, the fluid which is present in this semicircular canal, this fluid which is present inside this semicircular canal also keeps on moving with you. Okay, and at the period when you stop continuing to spin, so at that particular period of a time you feel dizzy. Okay, and your eyes move to and fro. Okay, this is due to the semicircular canal. The fluid which is present in this semicircular keeps on moving although you have stopped moving. Okay, although you have stopped spinning, then too the fluid which is present inside this semicircular keeps on moving, and that is why you could not maintain up this balance. So that is why it is called as the dynamic balance. Okay, so as we have studied about the two different types of the balance, utriculus and sacles. Okay, this utriculus helps in maintaining of the balance. Okay, it helps in maintaining of the balance, and this sacles also helps in maintaining of the balance, but this sacles helps the body to maintain of the balance in the static position, and utriculus helps to dynamic balance. Okay, sacles helps in maintaining the static balance, whereas utriculus helps to maintain the balance in the dynamic balance. Now ears. The ears function for the two things, that is hearing and the body balance. Hearing means what? See, as we have collected each and every word of the ears, the pinna, which is the outermost, helps to collect the sound waves and gets travel into the auditory canal. There is one tube inside our body which is called the Eustachian tube. Okay, what is this Eustachian tube? This Eustachian tube, see, whenever we put an eardrops, so some of a time that eardrops goes into your throat part. Why? Because your ears and your throat is connected with a tube called the Eustachian tube. Your eye drops, eardrops, and the throat ones, they together meet at a particular point, which is called the Eustachian tube. The function of this Eustachian tube is to maintain it helps to equalizing the air pressure on the either side of the eardrums. See, as whenever we hear any of the sound, okay, as we hear any of the sound, so at that particular period of a time we hear it uniformly. Why we hear it uniformly? The reason behind that, because it helps to maintain up the air pressure. See, if the air pressure is low, so the sound would be too high. If the air pressure is high, so the sound will be low. So it, in order to have a perfect balance of this sound, this Eustachian tube helps to maintain up the pressure. Okay, and what is important is the eardrums set the three ossicle into the vibration, and the last ossicle, that is the stips or the stirrup, connects to the inner ear, and from the inner ear it passes to the cochlear region, and in the cochlear region there is the organ of corti, which helps and transmit up the message through the auditory nerve towards the brain, and this is how the working of the hearing gets done. See, mostly humans, animals, each and every organisms in our environment have the different capacities of hearing. Okay, our human ear has around 20 to 20,000 hertz. Okay, we could hear, but this is too large. Exactly, we hear between 1000 to 4000. This is the moderate range which we could easily hear each and every sound. This 20 would be too delicate, and this 20,000 would be too more. But then too, it's just a bookish knowledge, 20 to 20,000. It depends on the person. Okay, it depends on the organ of corti for hearing. Which dog has the highest? Okay, and dogs can perceive out the sounds at even the higher frequency. So you have often seen in any of the towers and all big buildings, they often keep up the dogs with them. The reason for that is because a dog can hear the sounds which are too sensitive or delicate also. So that is why at big towers, okay, big bungalows and all, they often keep up the dogs so that they could easily collect any of the thief or anyone who is coming. Then it helps to maintain up the body balance, which we have already discussed. Okay, balancing are of two types. Semicircular canals maintain up the dynamic equilibrium. Okay, and utriculus and sacles, they are one and the same. They helps to maintain up the static balance. Previously I have said that the sacles maintain up the static and utriculus maintain up the more dynamic balance, but dynamic balance is maintained up by the semicircular canal. Just remember this point. Okay, so thank you students, we are done with the chapter called the sense organs. This was the part 2.